Hey now! What's up, Adam?
What's up?
Look at this. Oh no! Vosh attacks David Pakman as a genocidal psychopath.
You
What?
know, I always suspected that David Pakman was a genocidal psychopath. So this puts me in an odd situation. I usually disagree with Vosh, but
Mm-hmm.
now I'm thinking, maybe he's got a point here.
Okay. So this is some, I guess, Schadenfreude. This is some let the enemies fight moment here. Two streamers we're not really big fans of going after each other. Very
Right.
interesting.
Yes. Look, it'll be interesting to see. Look, we've been covering this Israel-Palestine thing a bit. So let's
Mhm.
see what's going on here.
Okay. I don't know what Dave Pakman's Israel take is. I don't even really know what Vosh's Israel take is. I assume it's not good, but I haven't
Right.
really been following it. But we'll see. Maybe they'll elucidate.
Sure, you did. I thought you looked around a little bit to see if you could find David Pakman's take, but it wasn't
I
super
kind of,
obvious.
yeah, I kind of looked around. I mean, he did a video where he was just saying that he thought Biden was doing good to pressure Israel to not, uh, I guess, blow up Palestinians or something.
Well, that's
And
good.
And I think that's what I don't know when Vosh made this video, but I saw a bunch of left wing commentators were put out response videos criticizing David Pakman for that. Saying like, oh, how dare you? Biden's not doing anywhere near enough to stop Israel from doing these things. So see, maybe that's what kind of generated this clip in the first place.
Right. He's got to bang Bibi Netanyahu harder on this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Got to bang him
All right.
harder.
I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. And then here's my only request. You tell me whether I should do stuff like this. Over the weekend, our team found a handful of clips of me being criticized by other people, ostensibly on the left, for things I supposedly said about the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Fine. In general, I don't do tit for tat. Let me generate a war and respond to this stuff. What I'm increasingly doing is not reacting to the vast majority of this stuff and really trying to take on a personal level an attitude of, hey, you know what? Not everybody's going to like me. If I find out someone who I don't know doesn't like me, it doesn't really affect my life in any way. And really, in addition to barely posting on social media anymore, really trying to consume the information that I believe is worthwhile, reading a ton, primary sources, doing my commentary, and really tuning out the noise because it's.
So what have we learned in the first minute of this video? We've learned some key things here. We've learned David doesn't know anything about pro-felicity.
Right. Okay, that's an excellent point. Yes, yes.
He's like, someone on the internet attacks me. Okay, that's fine. That's their opinion. So he's not really interested in protecting his profile, which is
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. It's an interesting thing. I think we've also learned, this is just my headcanon here, that David didn't want to do this video and someone was like, David, you need views. You need to get higher views. Okay. Yeah, there's a guy named Vosh. He doesn't like you. He called you a psycho. Called you a psychopath. You gotta do a video where you respond to him. That's how you get the views. You gotta start these YouTube, Twitch fights. That's where the views are.
The views,
The
exactly.
views.
People want to see you take him down a peg. That's
Yeah.
what they want.
Yeah, so David's like, okay, I don't really want to do this, but he's been
Right.
convinced to do this. So now he has to spend a minute of the video doing a justification for why he's responding to someone responding to him, which is pretty funny.
Right, right.
I mean, to be fair, David has tried to, he kind of labels himself as not existing in like the streamer sphere that we and other people exist in. He's in like, I'm just like a normal news guy, but I just happen to be on like the internet.
Right, yeah. He's doing his own Fortress arc. This is like Fortress arc versus Fortress arc.
Well, I think he's always been on a Fortress arc, to be fair.
Right. Is that a good idea? Look, I don't know. I feel
I
like
don't,
you got to interact with other creators. That's what people want to see.
yeah, I don't think that works I mean, because he's been doing this for a long time. And I think when he started doing this, it was just, I'm doing news that you'd see on television, but just on the internet or on the radio or whatever
Right.
medium he's in. But obviously that's not how the internet environment works anymore. So
I'm glad you brought up Pro Felicity. That's a good catch. What
there
we're
you
doing
go.
right now is second order observation.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see. Let's teach people how to watch this video of David Pakman. Let's teach people how to respond to David Pakman's
Okay.
response to
Okay.
Vosh.
Okay, that's right. We're not just doing this for the drama. We're teaching you a valuable service,
Yeah.
everybody. Wink, wink.
It's called second order observation.
Right.
It's important to remember, none of this stuff is real life. The fact that someone I don't know on the internet doesn't like me really doesn't matter. And so it's important, and the way I've been thinking about it is, in 10 years, will I regret it if I don't respond to random people on the internet who don't like me? I don't think so. So I'm increasingly not engaging with this stuff. I am going to respond to one of these because it's the only person who said something in these clips that I actually know who they are. The other ones my team found, we have no clue who these people are. There's a guy named...
You like that? You like that dig? Listen, I don't know who these unimportant losers are. A bunch of losers responded to me.
Yeah, no, he's hitting hard here.
You know who...
You don't know who he's responding to, though, so it's really not helpful.
Well, it's in the video. He's responding to Vosh. What do you mean?
Yeah, but these other people... He does zero reputational damage to these other people that he doesn't mention. Like,
well,
he's
they're
not,
beneath him.
Yeah, but I mean, why not really push him down a bit? Why not push him way beneath you?
Listen, they know. They know. Okay. You know who one of these people are? I know who they are because I looked it up.
Did you? Who are they? Let's look.
We talked to one of them.
Let's invite them on the show.
We are. We're going to talk to them again soon.
Who is it?
The Vanguard boys.
Oh, the Vanguard boys did? Oh, nice.
They did a video criticizing the Deepak on this. The Deepak Chopra on this.
They're coming on next week. I can't wait.
There you go. How do you feel about Dave Pakman saying that you were beneath him? That you were an insignificant fly on the butt of the internet?
I mean,
I'm
those
paraphrasing,
guys are,
but that's what he said.
Look, I disagree with those guys on all kinds of stuff. But I mean, They seem like cool guys. They seem like likable guys.
I didn't say this. That's what David Pakman said.
Yeah, look, David Pakman has always been a little snooty for me.
Yeah. Okay? He's a genocidal psychopath. Of course he says stuff like that.
Of course. That's how you become a genocidal psychopath. It all begins with being a little too smug on the internet. And then the next thing you know, you're goofing the floof.
True.
Yes.
Vosh, some people know him as Ian Vaush, who has a channel. He's been on my channel. I've been on his channel. So he attacked me, and I'm going to play what he said, and I will talk about it. And you tell me, is this a complete and total damn waste of time? Or is this in any way useful? Okay.
This is totally useful, and you should do it more often. Okay.
Well,
this is not a waste of time. I love it.
It's useful to us.
I know. Well, what were we supposed to respond to?
Is it useful to David Pakman? I mean, that's another question.
that's a you question. This is a me question.
Right.
Keep it up.
Okay, so let's take a listen. And just so you know, when he says Deepak, he's referring to me. There are some communities that refer to me as Deepak. Okay, so let's listen.
Did you say Deepak do just that? Deepak has always had really stupid opinions when it comes to Israel. When I raised a bunch of money for the Palestine Children Relief Fund, he offhandedly said it might be going to Hamas.
Okay, so let's start there.
It's always so funny how and I mean, we're all guilty of this. You have some interaction, a personal interaction with someone like 3 years ago, and that forms the basis of your opinion for them. Like going forward.
Forever, yeah.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of narratives.
Right.
Until you can change that narrative. But look, do we know that Vaush didn't raise $300,000 for Hamas?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that
I
question.
do remember that thing a long time ago. And one of the reasons why I have a lot of trepidation about doing these kind of fundraiser things, because Look, you never know. Next thing you know, you find out you're raising money for Hamas. Like Ian probably raised money for a hang glider.
Oh, well, not a hang glider. You mean one of those?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's quite a claim.
Look, Deepak has me calling him Ian. It's Vosh. I don't.
There you go.
Deepak. It's ironic that people are calling him Deepak because Deepak always tries to use people's real names.
And they don't want to use David. They don't want to use his real name.
Right.
That's hilarious. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
These are even who calls Vosh Ian? Like obviously people know his real name, but
right.
Yeah. Nobody calls him Ian. Nobody calls him Ian Vaush.
I feel like people that do probably do it like with derision in their voice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As like a doxy type thing. Yeah.
Right.
But it's funny that they've reversed it on David Pakman.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, look, we don't even want to say your name. Deepak.
Opinions are stupid. Very difficult to respond to. No, they aren't, bro. Your opinions are stupid. No, your opinions are stupid. They're not very substantive. My opinions are stupid. Then he says, I said the money he was raising was going to Hamas. Now, I looked for this. This was years ago, where someone on my stream said, are you joining Vaush's fundraiser for X group? I didn't recognize the name of the group. And what I imagine I said, and I admit I don't remember, I remember the event. I don't remember exactly what I said. What I imagine I would say is, I am super careful about fundraising for any charity until I know damn sure everything about it. There are so many charities that we later find out sometimes are funding Hamas or other groups. There's the Holy Land Foundation for Relief and Development. Turned out money was going to Hamas. The International Relief Fund for the Afflicted and Needy. Turned out money was going to Hamas. So if I said it, I would not have said Vaush is giving money to Hamas. If I said anything along these lines, it would have been, I don't know about that group. I'm super careful before I join any fundraiser. And in particular, in this case, because of that, there's nothing wrong with raising money for Palestinian kids.
So there is a big problem here. And this is we talked about this. This is a big problem with just Gaza in general. Hamas is the government of Gaza. Right. So is it, I don't know if you guys know this, okay? But in, Hamas, they're not liberal capitalists. They don't respect this thing called property rights. Okay. Yep. I don't know if you know that.
That's exactly right. Your NGO makes $300,000 from Vaush and they're like, hey, I like money.
Right. And so it's like, I don't know if it's possible. I don't think it is possible to send money or raise money for anyone in Gaza whatsoever without the possibility of Hamas taking at least some of it, because they just can do it. There's nothing to stop them from just taking the money.
Right. Yeah, they have all the guns.
Right. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to sit there and take the whole money, but if I would be shocked, and I think it'd be incredibly naive to think that of the, the almost 300 grand that Vaush raised for this organization, that this organization doesn't pay Hamas some form of protection money.
Yes. Yeah. So, that's their taxation.
Right. Now you might say it's still worth it, but you got to be real with what's going on there.
By nature, skeptical of charities, especially in opportunistic, fast-moving situations. I wasn't able to find what I said. Let's continue. Here is Vaush's critique. My positions are stupid. Okay.
He's always been like a Zionist, parentheses negative.
I've always been a Zionist. Now, again, how can I respond to that? Because at this point, Zionist as a word has essentially no meaning. I'll explain to you how the conversations usually go. You're a Zionist. Oh, okay. What exactly did I say? Well, you said you like the bombing of Palestinian kids. Oh, really? When did I say that? Well, I don't know. It's not that you said it, but it seems like you aren't as worried about. Okay. Zionist is a really silly term right now because some people use the term as an insult, as an attack. very few people use it to describe any cohesive set of ideas. So, for example, some people will simply say, I don't think it's legitimate to suggest that Israel as a country be eliminated to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I'm one of those people, right? For me, the solution isn't going to be the destruction or elimination of Israel. The fact that I think Israel has a, quote, right to exist, to some people makes me a, quote, Zionist. For others, Zionism means I believe Israel should take the entire Palestinian territories, or I believe Israel should build more settlements, or things I don't believe. So
I think this is a classic river to the sea, defund the police,
mop and bucket.
Mop and buckets, whiteness doesn't mean whiteness, kind of situation. Because when these leftists use the word Zionist as an attack on you, what they mean is that they don't think that Israel should exist.
Yep.
That's what it means. Now, they might parse and say, well, I think Israel should exist, but not as a Jewish state, because now they're all on board with a one-state solution, which to me is a fucking ridiculously goofy idea.
How did they get on board with that? The one-state solution?
I don't know. I bet you somewhere some socialist said it, and they're all just regurgitating.
This is Hassan. This is Hassan's work of Hassan.
Right. I'm assuming some leftist, Norman or Noam Chomsky, someone somewhere was like, we need the one-state solution, and they all jumped on board with this stuff, which is hilarious to me because it's like these are the same people that will criticize America for going to Iraq and Afghanistan, saying, obviously you can't go into a region and force democracy on them. I don't know why they think they can go into this area and force people that don't want to live together in one state to live together in one state.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Zionist in this context tells us very, very little. What I can tell you is I'm against the illegal settlement in the West Bank. I want to stop the Gaza blockade. I want all violence to stop. I am an opponent of Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party at just about every step. I don't believe Benjamin Netanyahu will ever be an arbiter for peace. I don't believe Hamas will either, by the way. So those are my views. But again,
this is why, and I mean, I hope this will be a wake-up call for Deepak and some of these other people, is that you see a bunch of liberals, a bunch of progressives who basically just lay out exactly what David laid out, which is a very left-wing position on Israel. But it doesn't matter.
It's not good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you don't say that Israel is the lesser Satan, America the great Satan, Israel the lesser Satan. As long as you don't say that Israel is an apartheid state, as long as you don't say Israel is evil colonialism or blah 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 blah. Like
concentration camp,
right? If you don't say the magic spells, then you're not good enough. You're an evil reactionary Zionist. Boo boo blah 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no room for any moderation in any of these leftist extreme talking circles, which I guess makes perfect sense considering what they are.
Right. Well, look, just to answer Deepak's question, hell yeah, you got to respond to this. What the hell? You got to get the record straight on your opinion. Your reputation is everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to respond.
The problem is, I don't know, like who's the audience that David can draw from?
It doesn't matter about the audience. Look, Vosh is out there misrepresenting Deepak's opinion to all these people, to his 10,000 followers.
Is he?
Yeah.
What did he say? He said he's a Zionist. Well, he believes Israel has a right to exist, presumably as a Jewish state, so that's technically true.
Right, but if it's unclear, people could think that he means they want to take over the West Bank. They want to turn Gaza into like all these other things.
They don't.
He's got to make it clear. Look, they don't care, but there are people around the margins who do care, who will listen.
Right.
If you don't step in and make your position clear, those people around the margins are going to believe the lies.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, it's informational warfare to some extent. But look, the Israeli government and Hamas are in an information war environment. Do you think one of them should just give up?
No,
Oh, look,
no,
I
I
shouldn't
do.
respond to this. Hamas just said we bombed a hospital. I'm above it all. I'm not responding. Okay,
Yeah,
that's dumb. That's
I agree.
stupid.
No, and I do agree that David should respond to a large content creator like Vosh
Yes.
or Hassan or anyone else if they come out and they say a bunch of stuff about him
Vosh just said
that is
D-back
either
bombed a
untrue
hospital.
or needs to be clarified. So,
Yeah, look.
yeah.
He's like, he's bombing hospitals over here, D-Pack is. But look, this is
right.
This is Vosh feels wrong because D-Pack accidentally threw some friendly fire at him, it killed some of the Vosh civilians when he said, look, he raised $300,000 for Hamas, right? Look, he's like, wait, that hurts.
Funny.
Don't do that. Yeah. Right? That's what's going on here.
I've been called a Zionist and it's been used as an insult. And my positions have been called stupid. Okay.
Got mad at me when I said that before, but like,
Look, and he does. Like, can you imagine the Israeli minister coming out and saying, yeah, Hamas said we bombed a hospital. Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah, but well,
Okay, no big deal.
I don't think that's a good. I agree that David should respond. I don't think that's a good analogy or comparison. I should say, because when Hamas says that, they're saying it to like the entire world,
Right.
and so like they're not talking. So when Israel comes out and says that they didn't bomb the hospital, they're not saying that to like the Hamas supporters. They're saying it to the entire world.
Right.
Vosh is mostly saying this to his own audience of leftist socialists who all hate
Right.
or dislike Pakman anyway. And I don't know if they care so much about these, distinctions.
And D-Pack is saying it to his audience who's on his side anyway.
Yes.
So. And so he has to downplay it. He has to be like, look, I'm being attacked. No big deal. Look.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter to me.
But listen, Deepak, you got to hype it up. That's what people want to see. You got to be like, oh my God, Vosh betrayed me. He stuck a knife in my back. The other day, we were so good and friendly together. Then he came out there and he called me a psychopath. What an asshole. I can't believe he did this to me. I had his back. Here's all the times I had his back. That's what you got to do, Dave. You got to sell it, Pakman.
Talking about. This is drama. This is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
You got to make him look like the bad guy.
Yes, he's the genocidal psychopath. Didn't you hear? Here's the clip of him saying that they should glass Israel. He's the genocidal psychopath, not me. Come on, Pakman. What are you doing? Get your head in the game, kid. Get your head in the game.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
What are you doing?
Right. That's right.
Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready.
Look, it seems like you agree with me here.
literally, he's literally like taking the worst possible positions on this. Apparently, his
He won't name any of the positions. All right.
community is going after him for it too, because it's getting increasingly unpopular to be just like a bloodthirsty psychopath when it comes to the ongoing destruction of the Palestinian people.
There you go. I'm a bloodthirsty psychopath and my own community has turned against me. So listen, in terms of my community turning against me, I've talked about a bunch of people canceled memberships. More people started them. We have more of a following on every platform today than we ever have in history. Okay. The show is bigger today on every platform, and we have more members today than we have ever had. You evaluate whether my community is turning against me. And when we start hearing stuff like bloodthirsty psychopath, I consider those ad hominems. I would love to get a list of the psychopathically bloodthirsty things I've said. So there's
look, I don't know if I buy the whole memberships are higher than they ever have been. We went over to his channel to look around. Well, I didn't go over. Sitch went over to look at his channel, but it didn't look like he was really covering a lot of the Israel-Palestine stuff. It looked, from what you said,
No, he's not.
He covered Israel-Palestine a bit. Some people dropped their memberships, and he stopped covering it. What
Well,
does
okay.
that say to you, Sitch?
I don't know if you can draw that clear narrative. When I look at what he's done, his videos recently,
Mhm.
he the first Israel video that he did, the last Israel video I should say that he did before talking about this, was 6 days ago. He talked about the 5-day ceasefire, and it seemed like he was primarily covering it from the perspective of praising Biden's ability to pressure Israel to do the ceasefire. And he
Okay.
tweeted that out. So the thing that Vosh is responding to is Mehdi Hassan. It's a tweet that Vosh has up. Mehdi Hassan had this tweet where he said, everyone I know who is Muslim or whatever told me they're not going to vote for Joe Biden because Joe Biden is not doing enough to stop Israel from killing Palestinians. So David Pakman kind of was praising Joe Biden for helping push the ceasefire supposedly, and was saying that he thought this argument was silly because those people are not going to turn around and vote for Donald Trump. That was David Pakman's argument.
Right.
And that's what kind of got all the leftists super triggered about what he said. But before that video, I'm looking at his thing. I don't see him really talking. There's like 2 or 3 weeks that he doesn't talk about anything related to Israel. So, it doesn't seem like it's an issue that he super covers a lot.
Now, why wouldn't you cover it? You're doing the news, right? You're doing a daily news show. Like every single day, all they're covering on TYT is Israel Palestine.
Well, here's one way. You could say, listen, I'm just not that interested in covering Israel. It's not a topic that interests me. I want to talk about domestic politics, right? Or maybe your audience doesn't like your opinion on it. So
well, look, that's my guess.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
My guess is his audience doesn't want to hear it. So he's got a policy. Look, if my audience doesn't want to hear it, I'm going to shut up.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Not much to respond to. I'm not going to do any ad hominems on Vaush. I'm trying not to engage in this stuff.
Boo!
I mean, you used his real name when no one calls him that, so.
Boo!
I'm trying to just demonstrate, look, here's an attack. It's not substantive. It's ad hominem, bloodthirsty psychopath, stupid opinions, etc. There's no substance for me to respond to. And people...
I'm not going to attack him at all. The substanceless brainlet.
Yeah! Listen, this is why people don't like David. He is very smug.
Totally smug.
He's like hyper passive aggressive.
Oh yes, that's what's going on here.
Yeah, this is like screams smug passive aggressive behavior, where he's like kind of doing the thing, and he kind of did this in a lot of his Kyle Rittenhouse coverage when he was talking about it and being criticized about it, where he like puts himself above like the fray, and then says that, oh, I'm not doing this thing I'm not insulting you as he insults you in like a very like snooty way.
Of course. Yeah.
And it's like, people they can sense that what's happening here. As you said, you're like, oh, I'm not going to insult you. It's just what you're saying is completely without substance. You fucking idiot. Right. Which, there is a difference between saying that and saying, he's a fucking idiot, and that's fine. But I think this also, I think, rubs people the wrong way because no one wants to see someone get stepped all over. Right. And you could push back without, as I said as a joke, you can bring up and I think it would be totally legitimate to bring up the Vosh saying
the glass is real. The context is pretty pertinent now.
Right. He's calling you a genocidal psychopath. You're like, listen, you literally talked about nuking the country of Israel.
Right.
And you got in big trouble for doing it. You should be a little careful where you throw that genocidal psychopath, label at someone else, number one. But number two, what you're doing is I would say, well, depends on what is David Pakman's like. I think it is highly irresponsible, if not hyper dishonest. I think it is highly irresponsible to say that another streamer is a genocidal psychopath if you're not even going to lay out what the argument is that you're talking about, what's led you to that belief that they're this horrible, evil, thing.
Vosh constantly does that, though. Like, all Vosh does is reputation destruction. That's the
I
only
know.
thing he knows.
I know.
Yeah. So everything he says is kind of made up about people. He does this to Destiny all the time. I mean, he's done it to us a bunch of times.
Right.
So
we have Vosh Voshing it up, Pakmaning it up by being a snooty floating leaf in the wind.
Look.
Nobody wins here. Except for us. Except for us.
I'm not going to do any ad hominem attacks, you pea-brain misogynist.
Right. Here he is. You should bring up the J.K. Rowling tweet. Come on.
No. Look, at least make it funny, Deepak.
Yeah.
When you're saying this, you should have the clips of him saying to Glass Israel, put in the video. Come on, splice. Give us some cutaways.
Well,
put the J.K. Rowling tweet up.
And this video is actually useless because it's just like, I'm just going to play like a 10-second clip of Vosh saying something about me.
Right.
And I'm going to say he is wrong. And then you're going to stretch that out for 9 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, he's definitely milking the views. Look, and I think he's avoiding this. I think he covered it. He got a bunch of people that gave him a hard time. The left is constantly doing this purity spiral stuff. You said something that offended me. How dare you?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you say Israel should get the hostages back? I'm unsubscribing.
Right.
Yeah, and then he's just like, look, this is too hot. I'm not going to cover it. But his kind of brand is this news coverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
News and politics. This is like the biggest story right now. I mean, look, I don't like covering it because we try to keep things light and comedic. But I mean, it's a giant opportunity for us to talk about Selectorate Theory and Dictator's Handbook because that's going on everywhere in this story.
Right.
So it kind of forces us into the fray. But yeah, I guess you and I both have very little respect for people who are audience captured.
Yes.
And like the bigger your audience gets, the more your audience captured. You really do get audience captured. We got to figure out how to get around that.
I'll keep you honest, Adam. Don't worry.
No, I know, but I mean, we got to figure out how to grow our audience and still not be audience captured. That's like look, P-Brain Deepak is not going to figure that out.
Right.
He's already selling out.
There you go. Well, I mean, this is like, when someone gives like, sometimes like doing a little is worse than doing nothing. Sometimes the moderate route is the worst route. This video is a good example of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
To have gone in guns ablazing, Dave. At least make it entertaining, right?
I mean, we're making it entertaining. So
yeah, we are, but David is not. Now,
no.
I watched this video. I'm like, oh my god, Vosh called David a genocidal like psychopath. Like that's crazy. Like there's gonna be something explosive here. I'm just watching this like,
exactly.
Like, geez, David, come on, show some human emotion. Like you're not a Vulcan. Wake up.
How do you get 1 million subscribers being this
boring,
smug and condescending,
smug and passive aggressive and boring? Yeah. 2 million subscribers. 1.98.
He's up to 2 million subscribers.
1.98. Wow. So this video, I mean, listen, maybe David is right because this video only has 53,000 views.
Oh, okay.
And his video after this,
right,
which is called "Trump Says He's Only Pretending to Have Dementia," 119,000 views.
Oh yeah, his channel is basically devoted to
attacking Trump.
On Trump. Yeah,
yeah. When I'm looking through his stuff, he's a lot of his. It seems like most of his coverage is just dumping on Trump and Republicans, and that's where like the views come from, which is fine. So maybe his audience doesn't want to have the Vosh drama.
Right. Look, they're like, we're here so we can believe Trump is going to end up incarcerated.
Right.
We're here. Right. Keep the dream alive, Deepak. Keep the dream alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. We got to watch Deepak's channel on election night. If
Oh,
Trump,
God.
if it's Trump versus Biden, it could be explosive.
Right.
People can judge for themselves whether they think these are reasoned critiques or not. I'm disappointed in Vaush. I am. But I'm not going to respond in kind. I have no interest in ad hominems beyond there is very little substance there. Here's the bottom line. I'm fine being disliked. This is it's sort of been my New Year's resolution, but I made it like 6.5, 7 months ago. I was on a particular trip and I read a really interesting Japanese philosophy book called The Courage to be Disliked. And I've really revised my views on a lot of things. Not everybody's going to like me, and that's okay. And in particular, people whose views are so different than mine, like it's not super likely socialists are going to like what I have to say about a lot of things. That's okay. We can all exist. We don't have to resort to ad hominem. Sometimes people do, but we don't have to. And I am going to continue making an effort not to stoop to the ad hominems, to keep doing my thing. And I think the show is going to keep growing. By the way, we're down to our last 14,000 YouTube subscribers before we hit 2 million and enter a class that has only 2 people in it right now, Brian Tyler Cohen and the Young Turks. We will soon become the 3rd of 3 left YouTube channels with over 2 million subscribers. That's a positive thing that we can be excited about.
So here's a question.
Look at that.
Do you think
He
David
just totally,
Pakman...
he did just give Vosh the finger there. He's like, look at you. You can't even make 1 million subs. You chump.
There you go. Do you think that and I don't know the answer to this question. Do you think that David Pakman maintains his no ad hominem position when he's talking about Republicans?
Of course not. What do you, what? No.
I would guess probably not. I don't know
Of
the answer to that
course
question,
not.
but I'm guessing not. Let me see.
Look
I mean,
at
I did find one video where he calls Matt Walsh a clown, which I agree with, but I mean, that is an ad hominem, so I don't know.
Look, I
Listen,
don't want to defend Matt Walsh or Trump. So
I don't either. But
yeah.
I'm saying, listen, sometimes ad hominems are, they're fun.
We do ad hominems occasionally, but
No.
Only
Only when they're
once.
funny.
only once in a while. Yeah.
Only when they're funny. Okay.
Or you got any
Listen, when we do an ad hom, it's warranted because we clearly lay out why the person is a stupid, dumb idiot and why they deserve to be called a stupid, dumb idiot. Okay.
Right. Pakman's crime is smugness. Smugness and condescension. Those are hanging crimes where I come from.
Where I come from, Nat Lawrence, hang. Jeez, Adam is very strict in the land of Comedyville. Jeez.
Look, if it's a first offense, sometimes we'll go with a public
He
lashing.
gets a warning? All right.
No.
A public lashing. Not
No
even a warning.
warnings.
Wow.
Warnings.
He gets the stocks. Give him the stocks.
What do you think this is? Switzerland?
There you go.
Anyway, you got any final thoughts before we hack it in on this video? Before we depack it in?
Listen, my final thought is I'm proud of you for making that pun.
Oh, no. Hi, you just listened to a Sitch and Adam recorded video. That's right, we're doing Monday through Friday deep dive recorded videos now. And of course, we're still doing our live streams. Our live streams are on Sunday and Tuesday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And you can super chat us, or you can join the channel. Subscribe to this channel right here to watch the live show or watch more of our awesome deep dive videos.